What's going on, gamers? I literally just woke up. So here we have Nintendo doing their Treehouse, right? And I loved the Direct yesterday. I'm still excited for the Switch, but I will agree with what everyone else says. Yeah, and I told you I love Nintendo the most, but I do not agree with the prices, and I think the suits are losing their minds. And it's also because they're winning, and they realize they dissected Xbox and PlayStation. They don't have to put on PC and they're testing the market. And I'm glad the community is responding the way that they're responding because this does need to happen. We need to get them to change things before it launches. And the thing with me is like, I think Nintendo has the most perfect road you could ever possibly ask for. They've done everything the correct way except this right here. It's like you have the perfect golden road now to walk down. You've done everything you needed to do pretty much damn rightly almost. And then that right there is just like, no, 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 wait. Remember what Don Matrick did to the 360? And remember what happened with the PS4 recently and what happened with Sony in the PS3 era. You know what I mean? You have the perfect opportunity. There's no need for you to get greedy and mess up. You know what I mean? And I'm going to go into full details about some of these things. So here, Tom Henderson posts Nintendo Switch 2 comments are 99% spam of drop the price in the Treehouse live right now. As you guys know, they're doing a treehouse right now to, like they did in the E3 days, to show off the games they presented in a direct, and then they do a next day of treehouse. And seeing that is actually very good because that means the community is responding the correct way. Let's get an example right here. Drop the price, drop the price, drop the price, drop the price. So you see the whole entire gaming community saying, drop the price, drop the price, drop the price. Going over here, same thing, all drop the price. And people have been spamming that consistently. Did you have some people wondering, and are they adjusting to the tariffs ahead of time? Well, let's just think about this. Digital, you don't really have to worry about that because this is goods being taxed that are coming from another foreign country, right? They could have adjusted the hardware like that with NVIDIA never wanting to drop the price or whatever. But like even then, I felt like the hardware is okay. I can be okay with 449, though I feel like that did happen to the hardware and it was supposed to be 339 because 449 price point is kind of an odd number. So I seriously believe it was 399. Now software, there's no excuse here. That was done because that's kind of what they wanted to do. They could have um put Mario Kart, which like I said, that's kind of a GTA exception, and we're gonna get into that in a second. At 70 and been fine. You're still gonna sell a lot regardless. It's just called taking advantage of people. And I believe Rockstar is going to do the same thing. And when it comes to these type of games, they can kind of get away with it. And what I mean by that is, for example, somebody could play your usual typical modern release coming out and buy the season pass and get everything early access for $100, right? It's been going on for a while. It's not anything new. Some people pay $80 for like stuff like that, or 90 now and get the season pass. But how long will the game last them? We're talking about entertainment value here, right? So let's say that you went out to the movies and you enjoyed the movie that night with a friend of yours and a lady friend or whatever. You may have spent 90 to $100 just for that night, right? Let's say even 60 or 70. That's one night. A game like Mario Kart 8 that takes like 10 years to make, since shit, how long has 8 been out? Let's think about this. Like I said, these are like GTA situations. Mario Kart 8 Wii U released. When did it release? 2014. So 11 years since we got another one. They've been working on this game for 11 years. It's like we can realize GTA has been worked on for quite some time too, right? Pretty much almost 3 damn console generations, like 15 years. So when those type of games drop, they'll last an entire decade. The amount of value you get for that, it's just an entry fee to get in. Though we know with GTA, you probably possibly spend $100. Plus, people are going to spend hundreds and hundreds of more dollars, maybe thousands of dollars on microtransactions online. Whereas, like in a Nintendo world, and I want to explain this to you guys, I still don't agree with some of those prices, but all I'm saying is that in the Nintendo world, you don't pay for microtransactions. Do you know how much value and entertainment you're going to get out of Mario Kart World? There's for some people they're going to put over 1,000 plus hours in that. Do you know how much that equates to value in entertainment? It's not really matchable, to be honest with you. And most people are going to look at it that way, and I wouldn't say that they're wrong. And I can't say that certain other people are wrong for looking at certain Nintendo prices and being like, wait, like the physical being 90. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. And I think what people are doing here is absolutely the right thing. When you look at like if they're going to do this for a lot of games, like premium games, I can see this happening for games like Mario and the next Zelda. Stuff like that. It's not going to be any other game. Otherwise, the majority is $69.99, right? So I think some games could be $59. But at the end of the day, you need to determine the value for you as a customer and think about that. You could go on Fortnite, but guess what? You don't know why people keep spending money? Because it lasted them years. And I've known people that spend like $4,000, $5,000 on that game. Nintendo's not even asking for 10% of that, but almost if you get the physical, right? And like I said, once you get in, it's yours and you can play it as long as you want. And as far as about the license stuff that people try to complain about, I tell you people all the time, you don't own anything to begin with in life. You got to go one day. You can't hold on to anything. That's kind of the point of the time limit because you're going to be forced to let go one day. And anybody could go any moment. So all that is like, yeah, whatever, man. But you still have a time limit. It's like everything else that passes through this stage. So that right there is to me kind of like, you know what I mean? But I can understand for like if it goes offline, but how often does that really happen? In the future is it's always going to be online for the most part, unless something crazy happens and everything gets lost. But that's my thing about that. Like looking at those things where it's like, are you going to pay this much for GTA because you know you're going to get this value? So those developers are telling you, I'm better than all you guys in the gaming industry, like the rest of the developers, and I can place my price point here because guess what? You can't do what I do. Is that true? Yeah, that is. But let the people know in a way. I think there should be more open communication with the gaming community. Seriously. Now let's talk about because we're gonna get to other stuff on here too. Now let's talk about like they were saying that they seen some games that were on the Switch be $70 or 80. I can explain this specifically. Nintendo never drops the prices. And I mean permanently. You can get games on sales. Like I've seen Zelda go on sale for 29 or 39, right? And that could be happening in the future. You get the same game. If you have Nintendo Switch Online, you don't have to pay for anything. The upgrade is free. It's just like Sony system. You pay 10 bucks. So what they're doing is because Breath of the Wild was always $59, and Nintendo never does permanent price drops on their games. If you add the upgrade, they just include that in there as an option physically. So you would get it for 70 bucks. Tears of the Kingdom is actually the only game to ever be 70 bucks, and that was worth it. It opened at 10 million. People complain about people talk about Monster Hunter doing amazing results, which it did for a whole entire month. It sold 10 million. Tears of the Kingdom opened day one at 10 million. So Nintendo knows they can do that, right? And it has that premium development. It does. There's no game like that game. So if you launch Tears of the Kingdom with a Switch 2 upgrade, it's $80. Right? Because it's still $70 and they're saying, well, it's $10 to upgrade. Or if you have Nintendo Switch Online, it's free. So it's not like there's anything new going on here. It's always been $70. Even before they launched Switch 2, going to Switch 1, Tears of the Kingdom is $69. So if you add $10 to that, it's $79 for the upgrade. You see what I'm saying? It's no different than what Sony's doing. It's the same exact thing, except for the $80 for Mario Kart, which I think is ridiculous. So no, not all games are going to do that. It's just one game. And yeah, people should say something about that if they think that's ridiculous. I can understand why they feel that way. But as I explain to people for entertainment value, that actually makes sense. Or you could fight against it. Either way, you're not wrong because of that. I'm with that. I'm okay with that. If they lower the price by 10 bucks, like okay, yeah, 70 bucks is fine because that was kind of like the peak anyways. But Nintendo's like, oh no, my value's higher than yours and I'm better than you and I'm going to sell more and do better with less. Otherwise, why would you do that? They're not looking at the consumer services. No, they're saying they're better than all the other developers. There's multiple ways to look at it, though I can see the other way as well. Now let's continue on to this article, which is kind of funny. Nintendo Switch 2 live stream comments are 99% spam of drop the price. Which, good job, guys. Drop the price, drop the price, drop the price back to 60. Stop being greedy. Drop the price. And then you have some people trying to use inflation as a reason why Nintendo did this. Nah, look, man. they're just doing this because they feel like they can. Is there tariffs for hardware? Yeah, like I said, I can understand the hardware being $449, though I think it should be $399. But when it comes to games, yeah, man, we already jumped a generation. Zelda should be $49.99 at least. I mean, at least do 49 or 39, right? Then you're like, okay, now you're gonna pay for an upgrade, so it's $49.99 for the Switch 2 version. Tears of the Kingdom, okay, it's only been out a little bit, but I think it should have been $59.99. Like you just don't raise up the price, you just keep it the same and give people the upgrade. These are things that that it's like this stuff to where it's like you did everything else the right way, dumbasses. You know what I mean? It's like you have the whole world, you have everything correct. Don't fuck it up. I have to say, because it's like, damn, man, I'm a little bit disappointed too with some of that stuff, but I'm explaining why. I'm telling you that I know why they're doing this because of what I said. So, God, I don't even want to imagine Canada. Oh boy, that's terrible, man. But it says Nintendo Switch 2 will cost 450, with this game's going up from 70 to 80. No, only Mario and Zelda. That's it. They only do that for like a premium game, I think. But even then, you need to still fight against it. Why? Because you don't want other crappy games that don't deserve to be at that price coming up there, like EA coming around the corner doing that with FIFA and stuff like that. This is what I don't like. It's like, y'all are kind of like giving somebody else some ideas, right? Because like, okay, Mario Kart took 11 years to come out, right? Like GTA took like 15 years to come out, and then Rockstar put like 2 billion into the game. So you're like, man, I'm gonna charge this much for it. Yeah, you probably can get away with it. Mario Kart, yeah, you probably can get away with it, but don't give people other ideas that come out with the same fucking game every year the idea to say, oh, let's do $80. No, don't do that. That's what I don't like. Um, Nintendo raising its prices will undoubtedly set a precedent for other publishers moving forward. Yeah. And by the end of the year, we could see $80 games normalize. This is another thing that I think. I think that in Western society, because if you go to Japan, they're spending $350 on the Switch and 400 for the Mario bundle. That I think that once again, this was something that went on with politics a while ago as well. And that they realized that Mario Kart and GTA have those market positions, and that these suits and ties are like, we're gonna do $80 for the game. This is not a developer idea. This is a publisher idea. And I think that these assholes got together. You know what I'm saying? Because we know this game is sold 70 million, Mario Kart 8, and we see it on the market, you're going to charge this much for the game. So that the industry could do this. Same thing with GTA. You're going to do this so that the industry could do this. It's just more capitalist greed. This is not going on in Japan. Like the Switch is not 450. And there's some language barrier too, so that the scalpers can't scalp. Nintendo made sure to put it to where if you want to get other languages, you're gonna have to pay an extra $100, which I think is good for scalpers. I think that's a genius idea. But I don't know if you guys do that. Like I said, in Japan, it's not $450. There's no tariffs like that. Which kind of makes me believe that because it's like that's kind of weird. Because Nintendo did say they were going to adjust to that before the Switch 2 got revealed. And we'll get our answers about that, right? I think eventually they have to come out and say something. But the 450 is not really so much the problem here because that's a one time and I have the hardware. Problem is the $80 and the physical media too, without having any sense of like games in there. You're just basically paying for a digital code to have the card. Like, why would I do that? That's absolutely stupid to me. And I'm pretty sure they're going to bring back the vouchers where you buy 2 games, you can get one for free or whatever. They'll have something. They're gonna have to do something because it's annoying. You choose to pre-order via Nintendo. The company is working to limit scalpers with a new pre-order plan. According to the company, those who want to pre-order through Nintendo will have to be an active Nintendo Switch online member with the language barrier too, and at least 2 years of continuously by March 31st, 2025. And you have to actually play. You can't just be a bot that does that. I like that they're actually more than anyone are doing something for the first time to combat scalpers. I think that that's positive. Now, going over here, I don't know if you guys know, but you can register on the Nintendo Switch store and choose which bundle you want. Honestly, guys, the best thing to do right now is to get this Mario Kart bundle. Because if it is 80 plus tax, which would be like 86, 87, you're getting the game for $50, no tax. This is a hell of a deal because it's like, I do want the Switch too. I just don't want to pay for those games. And this is a game that you're going to want that's going to last the entire generation, get updated the entire generation. Updates for free. You're already paying for that type of stuff. That's what I try to tell people. They're not saying, here's the season pass. No, it's in there. You know what I mean? You're going to get that content and that quality in those updates. Whereas somebody else is like, here's the game for 70, plus here's my season pass for 30, pay me 100 bucks. Or for 90, and then here's microtransactions all across the world. So pay me hundreds or more dollars. That's greedy. This is just basically asking for you to pay $10 for DLC and all that other sorts of stuff. But you're not going to see any microtransactions in there. Their games have none. That's why I tell you that it's been worse than this before this even showed up in the 360. I mean, in the Xbox One, PS4 era. All they do is ask for hundreds and hundreds of dollars and subscription fees and season passes and fucking battle passes, right? And you already paid for the game. Now, you know what I mean? Now pay me the season pass and the battle pass. Now pay for shortcuts to get the microtransactions and cosmetics in there. You've already spent hundreds of dollars. But yeah, people want to attack this more than anything, which I think you still should in a way. But what I'm saying is that it's been worse. This is not worse than what you've seen. No. So that's why I feel like that people are kind of being double standard. It's like, bro, they asked for one entry fee. That's it. Let's go over to the Xbox world. Like Monster Hunter World, amazing game too, right? But guess what? You want to change your character and do all things on that, you got to pay money. You got to do it every single time. There's other microtransactions on there too. And people are doing it. And they got the Ultimate Edition or whatever for what, 90 or 100, but they already spent $150, $160 on Monster Hunter. But guess what? They're going to get that quality. And I guarantee you, when this game comes out, you'll get more quality and playtime than Monster Hunter because they need to continuously update that game. They're going to charge you money for the expansion pass. But is it worth it to you? You know what I mean? Because it was $70 plus whatever else you're paying after that. You know what I mean? So you'll see games come out and continuously come out. They're going to do stuff like that. You buy these sports games every year. I'll see people buy NBA 2K every year, FIFA every year, and then go spend money on the microtransactions. Mario Kart is one fee. FIFA every year, same thing over and over again. Same thing with Madden. You're like, oh, bro, you already spent $500 on this game. Oh, I don't care. I love the game. Right? I just want to give an example here how there's been worse greed already in the industry. And you see me, I'm just not defending them. I'm just saying there's worse all over the place. But that doesn't mean that this isn't awesome. Oh, I think you guys should keep going about this. But don't just attack here. Attack in all those other places. This is what I like that the Nintendo community is doing. They're actually at least attacking here. So this is good to see. Let me know what you guys think. And if you have something to say about what I just said, about my idea of what I think greedy is compared to entertainment value, let me know. Just like I said, you go out to a bar and spend $100 overnight, and that's it. And it only lasted that night. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think. Ponies, sit down if you're watching. All right, y'all. Peace out. Have a great day.